Did no one tell Alin his mic is muted?
I was just telling this whole story about like the game that Nimi and Mint were playing, the FMV. I've been muted for like 20 minutes. I was yapping to myself for 20 minutes. And I was talking about like how you don't really see FMV thanks to 3D technology, but it's really, really cool. And I was talking about like how basically in the game Nimi was playing, the Chinese one where they were getting betrayed. Right? I was talking about how like there was a choice to choose what kind of dress you get to pick and what kind of dress your character wears. And I was thinking like, technically if they made this to an FMV, they would have to like record the story like lines twice. Thank you, Sorty, for telling me though. I would have never guessed it until somebody would have come in and be like, wow, Alan, why are you muted? And I'll be like 40 minutes in. I appreciate it. How are you doing, Sorty? Yeah, I was watching Mint play the Harvester, and that's what got me thinking about it. And Mint played the other game. I forgot what it's called, like the Betrayal of the Chinese Empresses.
I just clicked out of curiosity, back to watching One Piece now.
Okay, have fun with your One Piece, Sorty. Thank you for checking on my audio check. You'll be paid 10 cents in your bank account. Be sure to check for it. I've been wanting to actually play a couple FMVs now though. Like after seeing Mint and Nimi play some FMV games, it's kind of making me want to try it. Like I was actually considering giving Harvester a try. While not necessarily a Halloween game, it is kind of gory, kind of like a Halloween game, sort of like Saw and stuff, right? Like if you know anything about Saw, the game is super, or not the game, the movie is super gory. Like Al Gore gory. Allegory? Oh, these jokes tonight. I can't believe you missed my other jokes that were like that because I was muted the whole time. I was like making dumb jokes like that. We should restart the stream. That way this doesn't get recorded. Okay, what kind of hair does she have? She on the side? Okay. Okay. And I was also talking about how this character looks like Mist from Rune Factory. And I was talking about how like, oh yeah, she's not exactly like Mist, right? She doesn't look exactly like this. But the spirit is there. The inspiration, I could feel it. I wouldn't be surprised if I told them like, hey, you kind of remind me of Mint from, or not Mint Pantumi, Mist from Rune Factory. I wouldn't be surprised if they said, yo, yeah, that's the kind of inspiration I was going for. Okay. This is a very cute design though. Okay. She has the anime hair vents. I love anime hair vents. There you go. I'll have to send them a sketch of it though, because they want to make sure that I do one thing correctly. So they said that I can send a sketch and make sure that, you know, the way they kind of want it. Not necessarily for them to make adjustments because I'll keep going with it, but if it offends them in any way, then I'll make adjustments. Okay, now I need a pajama dress reference. Okay. Pajama dress. Let me see what kind of pajama dress do we have. In this world of do-do-do-do-do-do-do. That's not a dress, that's just a shirt. Maybe I'll go back all the way to the very beginning. Oh, Haruhi, that was a good one. Granted, maybe not. The one that belongs to the orange hair girl? I forgot what her name was. It's been a while since I seen Haruhi. Let's see. Nanohara? These are cute dresses. I could try something like this. Very simple, right? Very simple, but also like indicative of something that's pajamas. You know? I think that's the important thing I need to consider when it comes to designing pajamas. It has to say pajama. It has to be something that you look like you would wear to go to sleep. And I think this outfit's kind of perfect. And she also has long sleeves. Okay. I'm a little tired though. Hi, Migolti. Let's go push that in a little. Probably before I sleep tonight, I'll still play some more Pokemon. I'm gonna try to do some of the side quests. The side quests in Pokemon ZA have been really charming so far. Well, most of them. So I think I was talking about this on stream, but basically, the side quests are a mix of like tutorials and like actual like regular side quests. They're mostly like fetch quests and battle quests, right? But the tutorial aspect is teaching you how to use specific items, like, oh, here's leftovers. Oh, here's how you paralyze, right? And what paralyze does. And they're actually really handy because I think that, as I pointed out, basically, if I didn't know anything about Pokemon, it's a good like guidance for players who haven't played Pokemon. Like, oh, this is a life orb. It kind of saps your life away while doing a lot of extra damage. I'm surprised they gave a life orb too as a free item. I thought I was gonna pay for it with like the battle tree. I'm kind of curious though if they have the battle tree. It would be fun if they did, because this feels kind of like the perfect game to have like the battle tree and all that stuff in. But they haven't done the battle tree in Scarlet and Violet, and I know technically the DLC hasn't even added the battle tree either, or the battle mausoleum, or whatever you want to call it. I wonder why they got rid of it. Maybe it's just because the randomly generated Pokemon. It would be neat if like they made like a roguelike mode out of it, where it's like you get to choose the opponent's Pokemon you want to use for the match, or you can get specific item upgrades and stuff. There's a lot of potential with that, so I'm kind of sad that they haven't really done much with it. But hopefully it's in the end game of ZNA. I think it'll be even better here. I know there's an end game though where you have to go to the cafe and you have to do 30 battles in a row without healing. That's crazy. I guess I could give it a try. I barely did the 10 one, or not even barely. I didn't do the 10 one yet. And the 10 one was really hard because like if you're switching out, you're almost guaranteed to take damage. So you have to really plan out your Pokemon. And you don't know what Pokemon you're using ahead of time. I think after a couple playthroughs, they'll be like, oh yeah, he uses poison types on the first round and something like that in the second. Going to sleep soon? Alright. You're going to leave for vacation? Alright. Take care, Seal. Have a good night. Thank you for jumping in to tell me. Alright, this one's almost done. I'm just doing some sketches for some drawings. Especially this one. This one's for the Inktuber one. Okay. I'll pass the sketch with the person too.
Just got home from work. How are y'all today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Sanix? I'm a little tired from the Pokemon earlier today. But I have enough energy that I can stream and still draw. I do have to end stream a little early because I told Snivy and Saren that we're going to watch some Uma Musume together. We're going to watch the Uma concert. It's going to be cute. I want to see what their 3D is like. And the thing was, like, the concert's like 7 hours long, split between 2 days. Holy crap. And a lot of the Umas are in there. Though I don't know as much as the second half of Umas as I do the first half. But I'm excited nonetheless for it because it's gonna be fun. Okay. Let me go finish up the sketch and then send it. Let me see. I need an idea for what I could do for the hand. I always have trouble figuring out like what does an idle hand look like. Not like an idle hand, like a hand that belongs to an idol. I'm not like that one guy from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that collects hands. Okay, I think that's fine. Alright, let me go send this. Okay. Let me sketch. Alright, and then let me go send it to the person via this Twitter. Okay. Here's how the sketch came out. Just checking before I for tomorrow. Okay, there we go. That one's done. See, look how fast I'm going. Two sketches done in 20 minutes. I'm speed running. This is why I'm able to do things so quickly, because I'm a speed runner. Any percent, as Canary puts it, any percent, let's go. That's what I'm about. I'm about to be any percent. Is someone cooking something delicious? I smell it. I don't know if it's me. It's just me, smiley face. Was someone cooking something delicious? Okay, now let me go check for commission ones to work on. Let me see what we have to work on. I have one really big one I need to get working on. Then the other ones have to be off stream because they're privated commissions. Also, I should probably work on the fufu one too. Let me see. I'll start with the fufu one. Oh man, it smells really good, whatever they're cooking. Something that I would eat with rice. Where is the fufu commission? Ooh, yeah. Are you guys ready for daylight savings time that's coming soon? It's almost daylight savings time. I think it's in November 5th. Are you guys ready to lose an hour? Though I don't know if you Canadians celebrate it. My Canadian friends, hear me out. Okay, well, I gotta find the right layer for this. What layer did I put it in? This one? This one? This one? I forgot how many like sketch concepts I gave to Fufu for this one. Not that one. Not that one. Over here? This one? Ah, that's the one. Okay, I have two concepts that I could go with here that I could try playing with. So I could do this one, which is the one that we kind of agreed on, but I kind of want to try see if I could push the limits. Or at least try to do something funnier. We could do something like this, right? Where it's like a robot fufu. Okay. And then we could have like the robot arms from the previous one. Let me see if I can get the reference for it. Oh, I'm tired. And then we could have it like holding out a mirror. Maybe I won't grocery shop tomorrow. I feel like I'm a little too tired to do grocery shop. And we could have like the back of Fufu's head right there. And then we could have this one like giving a solid thumbs up. It's verified robot hands do a thumbs up. Like so. Oh man, I actually am really tired. I thought I could do this. I thought I could do like 4 hours and then 2 hours. Am I weak? Am I old? I could feel my weakness among me. I drank some tea too. I made a tea latte or matcha latte before stream, but I guess it has no caffeine in it. Give me a sec. I was standing up to stretch. Yeah. How are you guys doing though today? On this wonderful Tuesday afternoon, evening, morning. Okay. So I'll make 2 sketches of this, and I also made like a sketch of what I think the Fufu bot will look like.
Tired and back hurts.
You should lay straight. How do you? Okay, if you have a backache, because I've been having some backache too, thanks to the fact that I'm literally like sitting like a crab. Because I'm like this basically sometimes, hunched over and ready to go. Right? So my back hurts sometimes because of this. What kind of things do you do to take care of your back? Do you just like sometimes I would just like lie down on my belly like so on the bed, and I'll just like stretch like that. Sometimes I would go onto the wall and then I would like put my palms on it, then I'll stretch my back like this, like that. Stick Sticking out my yacht for the Rizzler. Sorry. Ooh, I am sleepy. That's the fear kicking in, Alan. You're afraid. You're afraid of the circumstances ahead of you. Okay. We should have it so like this one holds a mirror. Because I think if I have it like the other way, it's gonna look more like a saw blade, which is not what I wanted it to look like. Yeah. I'm gonna perish. This is it, guys. This is where I die. I'm gonna yawn myself into oblivion. Yawn. Unyan. Okay. I was looking at some reference of what I could do here. There you go. Don't need that anymore. Let me go pull up this one. Okay. I'm trying to do it based off the Aegis from Persona 3 combined with kind of like the androids from Nier Automata combined with the Metabots. Metabots was like a thing. Like I think it's interesting because like where I'm pulling my reference up from for some of these drawings. Metabots was one of those things that I never thought I would like use as a reference, but here we are. Here I stand. Realize you're just like me, trying to make history. There you go.
It's standing here, I realize.
Lord, I'm a little sleepy. I'm a little eepy. Here I stand, realize you're just like me, making history. Sorry, that one was on purpose.
I think I have insomnia.
You should get some sleep then. I shouted at the insomniac person. You know, I never really had trouble sleeping. I know like there's a lot of people that's been having trouble sleeping. I know like there's a lot of people that's been struggling to sleep, but I never really ever had trouble sleeping. The only time I do is when I'm stressed about something, or if I ate something bad and I have a really bad tummy ache.
I think it's my meds.
Oh, that makes sense too. Sometimes medication does that. But usually if it's just a normal day, like no stress, no worry about tummy ache, I can sleep like a baby. I sleep like a really good baby. Honestly, like, I never really had problems sleeping, but I was wondering, like, I was considering, like, some of the things that people use to sleep to see if that'll make me sleep even faster. Like, I'm usually asleep within, like, 10 to 15 minutes. And if not, then I'm usually, like, asleep within 30. Like, 30 minutes at the latest, right? But I seen, like, some of the things that people do to go to sleep. Like, they have, like, these masks, like, face mask. Like, that goes around your mouth, which forces you to breathe through your nose, which sounds crazy, right? But apparently that helps with snoring. I don't know, is that confirmed or not, that helps with snoring? Because I know I have a snoring problem. Like just based on the fact when I went to college and university and all that stuff, when I fell asleep in class, I snored really loud. But I heard that the reason people snore loud is thanks to the fact that like they worked really hard during the day, or they're really, really tired. That's the case, right? So me snoring really, really loud is just a testament to my hard work, right? 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 Please say I'm right. That way I feel better about myself. Okay. Oh yeah, speaking of feeling better about myself, did you guys see that The Walking Dead, the full season of Walking Dead on Steam is for sale for $5? All 4 episodes? I was considering getting it, but I already watched other players or other people play it, so I don't know if I want to get it just so I could rewatch it, basically. I think this song is looping. I heard this one. We were here before. Let's put some Pokemon music. Pokemon. There we go. Ah, yes, that old classic Pokemon music. You know what? I was seeing... Okay, so it's on my Twitter feed, and I think everyone's going crazy about how bad Pokemon is. But I honestly think some people haven't played Pokemon because like people were talking about how like the music in the new Pokemon game absolutely sucks. What? What? We played the same game, right? The music in the new Pokemon game is really good. Let me see if we can find a sample. What was her name? Janathan? Pokemon Jan... What's her name again? Z-A... Music. I still don't know if Toby Fox did it or not. Here we go, Jacinthe. That's how you pronounce it. Or spelled. Yeah! Doesn't that sound like really jazzy and really fun? And upbeat? This is from one of the trainers. This is like the trainer theme song for one of them. Like, how can you say this is bad? What the heck? Like, maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea, but to objectively say that the music sucks in Pokemon? ZA? I can't believe it. There's some things that are really bad in ZA, I won't lie, but the music is not one of them. Nor the character graphics. I like the characters too. I will fight you on the character design of the NPCs. They're very cute. I don't think there was like one NPC that I didn't really care for the design for. I think all of them are very endearing. Even the guy that's the steel type, the one with like the spikes on his beard, I found that one really endearing. Especially when he has like different expressions, that like smiling and all that stuff. It really shines through. Oh wait, I got an idea. We could like make it so she puts her hand on the face. Listen to that! Is that not good, like, fun music for a Pokemon battle? Especially when, like, the person that the theme belongs to is, like, a rich girl who's really spoiled. She's, like, she's a spoiled rich girl. She owns a hotel line that's, like, the most expensive in the city. I think that's the thing, like, if you don't like this music, it's hard for me to trust you. Trust your review to objectively call this bad. This music. There's some pretty good themes too. I think that one male character, Mr. Corbeau, the mafia leader, he had a pretty good theme song too. I wish though, like when I was playing the rank battles online, you can't actually choose your song, but the problem is like there's not a really big selection of song. I was hoping to like play like Jack Hint's song, this one, but sadly it's not on the list of songs that you can play. I really hope they change that with time. That's another good complaint. Okay. With the Hoge. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay. I'm going to put like these lines to show that she's not comfortable with being a robot, even though robots would never have those lines. Alright. I do think like what's happening with like a lot of Pokemon stuff is like the same thing that's happening with the Sonic community and their games, where a lot of people give it a lot of flack for some games that are really good. It is a shame, but I think there's a lot of good Sonic games as of late. Okay. There you go. And then we could have the same thing that's in front that says like, you are not a robot. Confirm you're not a robot. Press here to confirm. Like, I was wondering, like, you know those CAPTCHAs? The ones where it says like, I'm not a robot and you're supposed to click it? Like, what is stopping a bot or anything else from like clicking that themselves, you know? Ooh, we could give her like glitchy eyes. That would be pretty cute. Okay. Why would a robot sweat? Good question. Okay, let's make this look more apparent. That's a hand mirror and a hand. The hand with the hand mirror. We should like do like the cartoon logic of that robot arms need to have gloves to express the fact that they're robot arms. Let's see some other music. Like Corbo had a pretty fun theme that I remember. There we go. Kind of matching for someone that's a poison type, with the music so harsh. Womp. I never realized that the womp that this song makes. Womp. This is a little intense though for just drawing. Jeez. Okay. And we should like show the back of the head and like how it shines. Bald! 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 What does a hand mirror look like? That way I can make sure that it looks exactly like a hand mirror. Okay. Vintage hand mirror. Oh, this part. When this part kicks into the battle, it's pretty good. Did Toby Fox work on the music? Let me see. Did Toby Fox work on Legend ZA? He didn't work on it. Interesting. Wait. Some said that he did. Some said that he didn't. Huh? He did work on, what's it called? Scarlet and Violet though. I know that for sure. And I remember too because like some of his songs I like the Nemona one from Pokemon. Nemona has a really good theme song. Nemona theme. Like every time I think of like a epic battle or like a friendly battle with friends, this is what I think of. And I like to play this song whenever, like this is like, if I had to choose what kind of theme I would have as my personal theme, it'd probably be Nemona's or the gym leader theme in Pokemon Sword and Shield, which also, funny enough, Toby Fox did work on too. Here, let me start from the beginning. Yeah, it's just like the right amount of spunk and like upbeat happiness. This is my jam, guys. There you go. Like if I had to have a theme song, this is like definitely what I feel like would be my theme song. Like if I had to like say like, oh, Alan, you need to pick a theme song because you're gonna be a Pokemon gym leader or trainer, this is what I pick. Okay. I wonder if her head should be a little smaller. Let me see. There you go. Maybe we should like extend the body. That way you get a better feel for the robot. Robot. Maybe we should also like have like the shocked expression. Like, yeah, I'm a robot. Okay. There we go. This is just alternative pitch for Fufu. There you go. Okay. And then I'll draw the other one, just in case she likes it. I remember this too, like, let's see, I think Sword and Shield had a really good gym leader theme. Sword and Shield gym leader theme. Yeah, hey Fenner, how you doing? I don't know, I like Iono's theme, but Nemona has a much more upbeat. I don't remember Iono's theme as well as I do Nemona. Maybe because we had to fight Nemona so many times, and Iono I only heard once. Let me see, what is her theme? This is not what I remember to be Iono's theme. It's really funky though, holy crap! I don't remember this theme at all. Maybe it's because I did just fight her once. Yeah, how are you doing, Fenner? We were just talking about Pokemon music, and I was just talking about how like I was browsing Twitter and nice. Sadly, I haven't been able to do it myself because I still had to do my Uma Musume grind. The Inktuber has been getting to me, and the Pokemon too, especially the Pokemon. But is it the one that with the colors? Which mod pack were you playing?
Well, final 18 hours for the crossover smile.
Well, I'm not gonna make that much. Let me turn this down too. Yeah, honestly, I got way too busy. Was it tedious? What happened? Or was it like forcing you to do things that you wouldn't want to do normally? This is the Sword and Shield gym leader theme, which is pretty good. I don't like I think the first half is pretty good, but I like the second half more, where everyone's going like, whoa! Whenever somebody Gigantamax, you'll hear what it sounds like. But this is actually pretty good. I also like this too. That's why I'm really surprised, like, of all the things people are complaining about Pokemon, the new Z and A, they complain about the music the most. Or, not the most, but they complain about the music. What? I love the second part! When everyone's going like, whoa, it feels like the whole stadium's cheering for you. And the fact that it happens like midway through when you do the Gigantamax. As soon as you use Gigantamax, everyone goes, whoa. I love it! I really, really love the cheering. I respect your opinion though. But yeah, I found it interesting. I was reading some things that people didn't like about ZNA, and they were complaining about the music, and I thought the music was really good in ZNA as well.
I like it thematically, but sound-wise I just...
I see. I can see that. Would have been nice though if they did give them like individual themes. I could see that being a thing too, that like they should have just gave them individual themes. Okay. Let's figure out this Fufu drawing. Oh, I love this part. It's like so catchy. Boom, ba 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 boom, boom, bum, 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 ba ba da ba da bum. I want them to cheer. Just cheer for me. I'm starting to evolve. I think Scarlet and Violet also had cheering in their music, but the problem was like I think it only happened at the last like Pokemon, and I feel like it wasn't as high energy as the Sword and Shield cheering. Like the Sword and Shield cheering gets me pumped up a lot. Like as soon as I Dynamax or the opponent Dynamax and we start cheering, I get really pumped.
First, quest book sucks. Second, you don't really get anything special for unlocking colors. Third, I unlocked all the colors which I think should have been tied to specific monsters, not just random objects.
Interesting. I see, that makes sense. I can see that being cumbersome. Where's the drop? Where's the beat drop? I wanted to say whoa. Here it is. Here's the woes, right? Whoa? Yeah, especially this first motif. When it starts going, like, accelerating like that. And then boom. I think Scarlet Violet had the other woes. Yeah! It definitely made me feel like I was in a Coliseum. Like, I think, in my opinion, the ones that did the Pokemon gym feel the best, not in terms of like actual like gym battles or gym hall or anything like that, but in the case of like the battle between the gym, the atmosphere, I think Scarlet and Violet had the best one. You were like in this big Coliseum, everybody around you is like watching and cheering. You have like your Gigantamax and Dynamax. That was a really, really good like atmosphere, right? It just makes you really pumped up and like really like, oh yeah, Pokemon battles is a really big thing. I think though, in my opinion though, with ZNA, the characters that are supposed to represent the gym leaders, I think they actually were really well designed because they all had their own character motives. They all had their own like what's it called? Their own characters, honestly. Like in previous games, they were like, the only character you got from them is just the first line they said when you talked to them first. And then the second line you get from them when you beat them, right? But in ZNA, they keep coming back and like, yeah, I want revenge for my that fight, or oh, I can't believe my brother's an idiot, right? They have a lot more personality than any other gym leaders in all the Pokemon games combined, and I think that's a good direction to go. It'd be really cool to see what they do with it. Let me go see the Pokemon. I want to see Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet.
Something about these games just have more charm to me.
I feel that too. I like the original music too, but I do think that like the newer music is pretty good too. Like I like both for their own thing. Oh yeah, this one's pretty good too. The gym battle in Scarlet and Violet. I think the evolution of the music is pretty good. The old ones are very nostalgic. They're very iconic and they're very like well written to be like memorable music, right? Because it feels like the way the songs are designed back then were essentially meant to be listened to over and over and over. But yeah, that said, I can't knock the modern day Pokemon music because the modern day Pokemon music is pretty good too. Still can't believe that, like, personally, I can't believe that the ZNA music soundtrack got dissed on. Say what you want about the building textures, because I agree on it, but don't talk crap about the ZNA music. They're pretty good. Okay. There you go. I'm surprised though. Like apparently, like I don't know if you guys know this, but in ZNA, apparently people are saying that Hideo or Kojimbo, Genius Kojumbo, it actually helped with the game.
I will say I do like Rose's theme. There's significantly less songs that I can think of that I like for the Switch compared to individual D's games.
I get that. I think I remember some songs too from Black and White too, because that was like my first game back into Pokemon. I don't remember Rose's theme. Pokemon Rose's theme. Pokemon Rose's theme. Okay. Chairman Rose battle. I don't remember it being this holier than thou music. What? Man, Pokemon always had some crazy music, hasn't it? But don't look at the butt chat. Okay. Okay, something like this. And I think I had it on the inside, so I don't have to worry about it from the outside. Well, this is like Sephiroth music. Funny thing too, like this is like Sephiroth like music for a guy that's not very guilty. You know? Like even though he was the main villain, Rose was literally just like felt like a minor villain because as soon as he was told no, he was like, oh no, I'm okay, gotcha, I won't do it. Like he did not have like any villainous intent, which was something I did complain about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It didn't feel like there was like any overall villain that was like kind of prevailing and like trying to take over kind of thing. It felt like everyone was so friendly with each other. Okay. I can make this one bigger. Or maybe it's, I think this is right side.
Music for a guy who started the apocalypse for not wanting to wait 5 minutes.
I know. Like honestly, like Rose's like intent and stuff like that wasn't a very good like actual intent. Like he didn't seem like he was the most villainous of villains. Let me see. I want to listen to more ZNA music. This one's Canary. I'm glad they went back to the idea of like individual themes for trainers. Makes it feel like they're more epic. Hey, Ina's playing Pokemon right now. Is she collecting mushrooms again? Ina's like trying to collect 999 tiny mushrooms. She's like pretty far into the game though, because she's like level 40. Unless she's been like grinding the whole time. Ina. Nina by Ina-ness. Okay. And we could put like a door right here. Something like that.
I would like for the actual villain to be that. Remember when Getsy straight up tried to kill you?
I mean, the thing is, interesting enough, in ZNA, the main villain, technically, quotation mark, the spoilers, the Team Flare, the ex-Team Flare members, were like, yeah, we're gonna burn you to ash. But as soon as you beat them, they become super friendly. They're like, oh, here's a coffee. And like, we understand we were wrong. We're sorry. I was like, oh, that was really quick of a change of mind. But they were like all like angry and aggressive, but suddenly they became really friendly after you beat them in a Pokemon battle. Like, and the thing is too, like there's even a mafia that you basically, your characters borrow money from, and you guys have to pay off an incredible debt. But it turns out they're like quotation mark good mafia. They're out doing good things for the city, and then like they end up helping you pay off your debt. Like there's actually no evilness in there. The only evil is nature basically, which it was trying to destroy the world, which is kind of ironic when you think about it. All right, these ones are done. I'll send the sketches to Fufu. Okay. Fufu concept. But it would be really neat to, like, I think that's one thing I want to see. I kind of want to see like a evil group that actually feels evil. I think in Arceus, right? The main kind of group was that one group that didn't want to interact with Pokemon. They think all Pokemon is really bad. And it was the group that you were kind of working with, right? So as soon as like they find out you were kind of evil, they run you out of the city and they're trying to like hunt you down, basically, if I remember correctly. So like it was a very nice twist and turn, like the idea like the people you're with since the very beginning turned their back on you just because they realize you're just like you're someone from the future and you have no reason to be here and you're the most suspicious of them all. I don't remember as well as I think I do, but yeah, that one. Whoops, let me go turn off the back layer.
I think they should have built up Volo a bit more for the story.
They should, and I think the thing is, I saw what he becomes in the end. I kind of spoiled myself, but I haven't actually been in the game myself. I saw what he does, and it's kind of strange because like the last cutscene I seen with him was like him helping us out. So that's why I'm surprised he went so evil out of nowhere. He was like, yeah, I'm actually really evil. But oh, fun thing though, Grim. So in ZNA, apparently you find his alpha in the museum, and like it says on the like the person that like curated it said that the person donated their alpha themselves, which is kind of implying that he's still alive, which I found crazy. I don't know the full lore behind the guy. I kind of want to go back maybe after ZNA to finish that game. I'm literally at the end of the game, but I didn't finish it because other games came out during the time. Okay. Give me a second. Oh, got a message? I was gonna send this to Fufu, but let me check what this message is. Okay. Okay. Alright, let me go ahead and send this to Fufu, see if she likes it. See, look how productive I am. In 1 hour, I did 4 sketches. And even like one is for 2 people. So I wasn't wrong then, because like he seemed really friendly. So that's why I was surprised. And he's also like the descendant of Cynthia, isn't she? Is he? I heard like people are traumatized because he has the same team as Cynthia. Let me see. Cynthia had a very iconic team. Cynthia theme Pokemon. Whenever you hear it.
Yup, same theme.
People are traumatized with this. Okay.
Piano at least.
I think I heard it too. Let me see. The RCS remake. Let's see. Zolo Pokemon theme. Or Volo. Volo. My bad. This man runs around with a Togekiss and a Roserade. With this theme song. I think the thing is, Arceus had a lot of potential, right? And I really like Arceus in its own way. I don't think it got as much flack as Legends, but it was a really good game, and I think it was a good like divergence because it had a really fun collecting aspect to it, where you had to complete the Pokedex by catching Pokemon and doing other aspects of it. And I really like that. It made it so it felt more involved. I do like what they did in ZA too, though, where all the TMs are, like, most of the TMs are tied to it. Hey guys, just a casual Friday, I'm gonna go summon Satan. This theme song, though, I don't know how anyone could hate some of this music. Here's how the thumbnails came out. I did the original draft. Graphics never really bothered me, and I know that sounds bad, but I never been bothered by bad and ugly graphics. And I think it's just because I'm gonna keep coming back to it. I played a lot of games with bad and ugly graphics, like old games. I played Neptunia games, right? I played games where basically are like mods where they're really bad with their texture and they don't know how to basically stretch the texture across a geometry, right? So I've seen my fair share, and it can be ugly, but it's not like the defining thing of the game, I guess you could say. Because for me, it's more about the gameplay and the elements around the gameplay. I think that's one of my biggest complaints with ZA2. The game is more focused only on battles. I kind of wish there was more aspects to it, like how other games have they had the contests, right? Other games have like have fishing, right? There's a lot of things in older games that can kind of break it up, but I feel like in ZNA, the only thing to break up the battles is essentially taking pictures for your Pokemon. You know, it would be nice if there was like a little bit more extra like fun things you could do. Like, I don't know, like in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, they had the Poke Park where you could go around and pet your Pokemon and stuff. That was really cool. I like that, right? It would have been nice. Even just like little dumb things like that. Well, I guess that's the same as drinking coffee with your Pokemon. But I want to be able to like frolic in the flowers with my Pokemon. I want Lopunny to kick me in the face. Pokemon. Okay. Here's... I didn't finish typing this out. I did the original draft as well. as a more...
Pretty lenient towards graphics, but definitely do look to
Yeah,
I only really get bothered if the art style isn't consistent.
I feel that too. But I do think... Okay. Like, I mentioned this earlier, but... Oh, let me turn on the music because it's a little loud in my ear. I mentioned this earlier, but Pokemon Company is not good at open areas. Like, when you think about the Wild Zone,
Would you
right?
like it better if you could do side stuff to raise your rank instead of skipping a bunch of rounds?
Actually, I didn't mind the rank skip up because basically the first part was kind of like they had a... Okay, I mentioned this on stream too. Let me go with the first one. Okay, so I don't mind the graphics and stuff because essentially I feel like Pokemon Company's really bad with open areas. Pokemon Sword and Shield, the wild areas were really poor, right? Hey Gaster, I'm just doing some drawings while talking about Pokemon. Like the wild areas had a really bad like graphics to it. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the whole area was pretty bad graphically, right? And basically the city in ZNA wasn't that good, right? And but when you look at the areas where they're more like defined, like say in Pokemon Sword and Shield, the cities, you look at the cave inside ZNA, right? The laboratory, they're really well designed. It's just that they're better at like areas and making you see what you need to see versus open areas where you can see everything, right? And I kind of wish they go back to the idea of fixed cameras and stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't mind.
I honestly think they should go back to
I'm mixed on that because I think it'll be really cool, but I really do want to see what it would look like in 3D, you know? Like being able to explore in 3D is pretty nice. But basically, my feeling on the ranks, it didn't bother me at all because they kind of justify it because during that time when you're ranking up, you're fighting a bunch of trainers, but they're all pretty weak. So the guy comes up and says like, hey, you guys are really strong for your level. Here's a free kind of rank up to match up. And as soon as you like kind of do the match up rank, like the trainers around you get stronger, the Pokemon around you get stronger, right? So it kind of matches to what your skill level would be equivalently. And it's the start of the actual part of the game. Like the whole beginning part is basically the tutorial, right? It's basically, here's how to play the game and figure it out. And then they toss you into the later half, which is like, okay, here's how you actually play the game. And it gets you introduced to each of the factions that are part of the city, which are basically the main gym leaders, and gives you like a set routine. My gripe with it though is that it keeps going back and forth between rogue Mega Pokemon and then the characters, right? Like I feel like the rogue Mega Pokemon are meant to break up the pace of it, but it always felt too formulaic, right? It's always 3 rogue Pokemon, right? Then story, then 3 rogue Pokemon, then story, then 3 rogue Pokemon. If this was a standard Pokemon game, they would have the travel in between. And that's what I was thinking about, like, oh, if this was a standard Pokemon game, this whole rogue Pokemon would be switched out with like walking to the next town. And it made me kind of wish that they did, well, a standard Pokemon game rather than something that's supposed to be open world. So that was my gripe with it. Like, I think it could have benefited better from not trying to be open world-ish. But I get what they were trying to do. They experiment with it. I hope they do better with it in the future. I think there's potential for open world. It's just, as is now, in its current kind of state, they really need to develop on it. Like, the open world is probably the weakest aspect of their newest games. Either that, or they just need to come back to a more linear formation. As for the combat system, I'm actually okay with either if they want to come back to turn-based, or if they want to try to work with this new action-based one, because I think the combat actually is much more solid than people give it like credit for. It's a very like actually well thought out kind of mode.
I find it funny that the rest of
oh my gosh,
they made XP shaded font that wasn't balanced for it in the slightest. Really felt like they didn't have any playtest.
Like, I don't like the EXP share personally, but I do think in the new games they actually did balance it pretty well. I don't remember about Scarlet and Violet, but in Arceus ZA, I was literally the right level for the final boss fight. Granted, like, I did do the side quests and stuff, so if I didn't do the side quest, I would actually be underleveled, funny enough. But I also didn't buy the EXP charms, right? There was a bunch of EXP charms that increases the amount of EXP you get, and I didn't buy any of those just so I could give myself a better challenge. But essentially, I was just on level thanks to the EXP share. So I think Z and A is actually well balanced for the EXP share now, which I think is good. But I do like a option to turn it off personally. Like just for one, the difficulty challenge, because I think that it's like old Pokemon where you have shift and set. I like to turn that off too. I like to go on set. I wish they made it so there's an option to turn off the what's it called, the EXP share. I do want the EXP share to stay though, as it is, because after I beat the game, I like to try to collect all the Pokemon, and it really helps to have EXP share to like collect all the Pokemon, because it makes it so it's like less redundant to level up Pokemon.
The XP share didn't matter too much because you could.
Oh yeah, that's true. And then like each of the areas like technically had a level difference, but I think with Scarlet and Violet, when I was playing it, I got way over leveled really fast. Like there was no, like if you were gonna go through each area, you would get way too over leveled. But ZNA didn't have that same problem. Unless you actually went out and grinded. If you went out and grinded, you would be over leveled for the area. I think this was supposed to be a revolver. I'll draw a revolver just in case. But yeah, I just wish they give you an option to turn it off. Either that or give it to you after you beat the game. But I know like the reason why they did it is just to make it so easier opportunity for newer players. And I get it. I get it's supposed to be like a quality of life for newer players who aren't very good at the game, which is actually surprisingly a lot more than we think it is. We don't acknowledge like the new players that are coming into Pokemon. Like, here's the thing that I always think about too. These Pokemon games are really well made for newer players. Like if you're a new player that just got into Pokemon, you are pretty much like, even if you don't know anything about type matches or how to play the game or special versus physical, the games are really well fitted to kind of introduce you to those concepts and make sure that you succeed in the game. But I think part of the thing that is a problem is the fact that there's so many veteran players, and veteran players don't want to see like the same tutorial and stuff like that. Oh, is that Ina? Oh no, Ina! Oh no! Oh, I'm exposing. Oh, that's Bibu. Did you guys hear like how Bibu and Ina sounds very similar? They sound very similar when like Bibu uses her voice mixer to go that lower.
One thing I do find annoying is that Pokemon and Nintendo in general try to do everything they can to prevent people from playing it any way other than how it was intended.
Yeah, I don't like that either. And that's part of the reason that I was sort of okay with the Diamond. I know everyone did not like the Diamond and Pearl remake, right? People were so mad about that. But for me, as someone who didn't get an opportunity to buy the game during the time, I got to enjoy the Diamond and Pearl experience on the Switch. And I didn't have to pay somebody else who's charging $80 for it, you know? I did eventually find it a deal on it, but it was like $50. I bought that like much later after buying the Diamond and Pearl because I wanted to experience the original game. But yeah, like there's a like I know people don't like remakes and they get bothered by it, but the remakes aren't made for everybody. They're made for the people who didn't get a chance to experience the game or experience it for the first time. But I wish they kind of like bring back the Game Boy Advance games on the Nintendo Switch Online. It's kind of built for it, especially with the ability to connect to a friend. Like I don't know why it's not built to do that. Though I guess the Wi-Fi worked to share screen.
With GP remake, people were expecting platinum and not a direct port with 3D graphics.
Yeah, but as someone who didn't get a chance to play the game, it worked out for me, which I feel really bad. But that's what I always try to keep in mind too when it comes to the game. Like, is this game designed for me or is it designed for new players? I think the same could be said about the Mario Galaxy games, and I know people got mad at that. But once again, I think it's more designed for people who never got a chance to play it on the Wii, more than it is actually for veteran players. Which I think is an interesting balance when you think about it, because like they want to re-release these games, one for money, of course, and two to give like players a chance to kind of reintroduce themselves into the series, or like to get another chance to play an older game. But I can see why it wasn't well favored, because it was nothing progressing the game or basically the Pokemon world. It's basically a rethread on the same like game. But yeah, that's why I feel kind of bad for enjoying Scarlet or Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Shining Diamond or Pearl. Because, yeah. But it was fun. It was still Pokemon. It was essentially what Pokemon is. It's just that it wasn't anything new. And I might get a lot of flack for it, but that's part of the thing that people been like kind of blind to think about. I feel like there's a lot of, especially nowadays, people are really aggressive to anything Pokemon. Okay, maybe not everybody. I think it's more like just I hate to say it, but grifters. Because it's kind of strange to see so many people that don't actually play Pokemon get so critical on Pokemon.
I do think people wouldn't be as harsh on it if it wasn't 3D and a few content cuts.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's why I thought like it wasn't designed for the veterans at all. And they didn't even use it. Did they even use it for the Pokemon World Championship? I think they didn't even use it for the Pokemon World Championship. They used actually Sword and Shield during the time, right? Or was it Scarlet and Violet? I don't remember. But they basically just completely skipped that in that generation of Pokemon Champions. Which I'm kind of glad Pokemon Champions is a thing, because we're gonna have the opportunity to split the main games and like have more creative, like they'll have more creative like means of making the game. I was talking about it when I finished DNA, but like that final boss, you would not be able to do that in a regular Pokemon game. So the fact that Pokemon Champions is kind of taking the place of like the competitive scene, allowing them to make the main series games and side games have a different system while still reconnecting with that old classic battle system, is pretty neat. Like it's kind of it's gonna be interesting. I think Pokemon is at a crossroad right now. They have a lot of potential, right? They could go in all sorts of different directions. They have the Z and A. They have the Arceus. They have their traditional route, right? With champions, they can further like be creative with what they want to do with it. So it's gonna be interesting to see where they go. And I think the thing is like Game Freak, I won't lie, it's probably not the most competitive, or not competitive, the most what's the word? The most competent team of devs. And I think it's very noticeable in their other games, right? Like Pokemon is a very easy kind of game for them to get through, but when it comes to actually designing games that are not like the Pokemon formula, they haven't really done as well. Wasn't it like My Little Town or something like that? Wasn't there a game that they did? And there was like another one that they released on, or they announced for other consoles? Like, they are playing it safe with Pokemon, and I think that's like a pretty obvious thing. Like they're 100% playing it safe. In fact, I would say ZA is a very safe thing. Even though they did try a new battle system out, everything else is safe about it. The animation, well, not animations, but like the way they did their quest lines, the storyline, the side quests, right? It's not the biggest drastic jump, but it's a jump nonetheless, you know? It's like a progression in a safe direction, right? They took baby steps.
My thoughts on things is that they need to focus less on quick buck mobile games and more on full games.
Do they have a mobile game? The only one I could think of is Pokemon Masters EX and Pokemon Go, but like what are they even doing for Pokemon Go? And Pokemon Go is managed by Niantic, isn't it? I think Pokemon Go is managed by Niantic. I might not remember it correctly. Let me see. Let me get a shot of this guy. Alan Wake. Alan Wake with an A. The Forbidden Alan. He has like a... Is that a revolver? I think that's a revolver.
Also, there was a Game Freak game that wasn't for Pokemon that people really liked, but I can't remember what it is.
Was it the one that they announced recently? I remember there was one that they announced that was going to come to the 360. Or not 360. I still call it the 360. The Xbox or something like that. That people pointed out looks really good, but they don't know why it's not Pokemon. That's what I think is happening. They're playing it safe with Pokemon to make sure that they don't like break the formula.
It released a few years ago, I believe.
Is it Harmon Knights? I remember Harmon Knights was pretty popular actually. There was like a one that had like a rock paper scissors kind of gameplay that didn't do well though. It was like My Little Town or something. I don't remember that one. I don't remember the exact title. Okay. But it would be really nice if they take more risk. I think it would be really nice to see them try something really big and different with Pokemon. And the thing is too, I think part of the thing that's holding them back is the number of Pokemon that's already out and having to like redesign things and aspects of them and then like trying to fix up animations or make it work for specific things. I think, hear me out, a smaller roster might benefit them to test out ideas. Even if it's like a sideline game, like say they're trying to try a different battle formula in a side game, use a smaller like Pokemon roster, like maybe 150. And I know that's like crazy because people are complaining about Pokemon not having all 1000 Pokemon in the same game. But I think that's like one of the factors that's kind of holding them back from testing out things. That there's 1000 Pokemon and they had to like pick and choose and they had to like redo animations or fix things up for the new game. Especially for ZNA, they had to like make a whole bunch of new animation, like sleeping animations and walking animation and attacking animations that are different from like their normal thing. Okay. And they said Alan Wake 2, right? Let me check this commission really quick. What time is it? Okay. I have like 20 more minutes before I should go because I have to watch the movie with Snivy and friends.
Just checked, and it was the game you were talking about that releases next year. I was thinking of a different game that looked similar.
Yeah, it was on the Xbox, and I think because it's not Pokemon slapped on it, like the thing is, Game Freak is very experimental, right? When they're not working on Pokemon. And that's why I think it's the biggest problem. They're very safe with Pokemon. They play it too close to the chest with their Pokemon IP. But when it comes to other games, they're testing out different battle formulas, and I think they might be testing out different things for Pokemon in different games that they're making. And I'm hoping that like the Xbox one, the one that they announced for the Xbox, will be like a experimental thing for maybe a future Pokemon game. Just to see how it tested the water and how it feels. Okay. Let me get the Alan Wake 2 logo.
I just hope they can figure out how to write an interesting plot smile.
I think, personally, I won't worry about the plot as much as the gameplay elements. I mean, the plot could be interesting, but I'm more concerned about like how the game's gonna play. Because I've never been much for plot, and thinking about Pokemon, I've never been like plot heavy on Pokemon. And I think it's interesting the lore of some things in Pokemon, but the plot stuff is not like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens with say AZ. Though the ending of it made me be really sad for AZ. AZ. Okay, let me just do a quick background. Whose theme is this song? Oh, this is what's her name? Zinnia from Ruby and Sapphire. Let me go with like some other Pokemon songs though. Let's go with like chill, relaxed Pokemon music. Hello, how are you doing, Arch? We're talking about Pokemon and Pokemon ZA.
I'm more talking about how they tend to pull things out of nowhere, like with Volo.
Oh yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Rushed like with SW/.
I see.
Have you played it?
Yeah, and I loved it. I really love ZA. I know like there's a lot of flack being given about ZA, but honestly, it's a really, really good game. I could give you my reasons why it's good and why it's bad. After playing it, I could tell you like a whole opinion piece on it. I was considering making a video about it, honestly. Like a video that actually goes over what actually the game does right and what the game does wrong. My first video essay. Okay. I have to think about what to do for the background. Maybe it'll be something simple. Like, maybe I should make this a little bit further back and like have the streets and like a car littered on there, right? There you go. Oh man, this music is so nostalgic. It's from Ruby and Sapphire. I played a lot of Ruby and Sapphire back in the day. This is also Ruby and Sapphire. Are you planning to get the game, Arch? It's really fun. I find it really enjoyable. I personally like it more than Scarlet and Violet, and I would say it's on par with Arceus. I think between Arceus and this, I kind of like both of them, and I can't tell which one I like more. I think also on par with Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield was really good too. I know like people didn't like Sword and Shield. I would say, in my opinion, Scarlet and Violet is probably their weakest title. Granted, it did a lot of interesting things with it. I think Scarlet and Violet was essentially their weakest title. I'm trying to think if there's any other game I feel that way. But between all the Pokemon games I played, yeah, I really feel like they could have done a lot more with Scarlet and Violet. I think Scarlet and Violet was fun, right? I think it was enjoyable in its own right. But I do think that there's a lot of things that felt like it was missing. The ending though was really good in Scarlet and Violet. I like the ending in Scarlet and Violet. Okay. Let me send this to the person and see if they like it. That's another sketch done. 5 sketches, guys! I'm on fire. Okay. Here's a sketch of your thumbnail. Is this what you had in mind? There you go. I like how like the Alan Wake cosplay is just wearing a suit. Okay, let's see. So that one's done. Next one.
I enjoyed SV much more than SW/SH. I think the weakest would likely be original Gen 1.
I mean, I can't say the weakest is Gen 1. And the reason I would say that's the case is just I'm thinking about it during the time that it existed. I think a lot of the games shouldn't be judged compared to each other, but compared to the generation it existed in. You know what I mean? And I think, well, at least for me, because essentially I played each of the games when they essentially came out. Because if you play Gen 1 nowadays, yes, it would 100% be the weakest. Despite what everyone would say, like, not even nostalgia would help with that. No, I think nostalgia would help, but it's definitely the weakest game. But I won't lie that I do find myself coming back and playing it every now and then, just because like it's very simple, very easy, it's very comfy and nostalgic. It's like, oh yes, this reminds me of my childhood back when I was a wee little lamb, you know? But I won't lie that it is definitely the weakest. Okay. So this one I could put down here under waiting approval. No, I'm not old. You guys are old. You guys understand me. No, Musty Dusty Gamer is true. I'm as old as Nimmy. If you ever find out Nimmy's age, I'm probably just as older as her. Okay, this one's a little bit elaborate of a one. Let me see if I could start these ones. Let's see. YCH, credit card one. Gotcha. Let's see. And this one also YCH. Gotcha. Easy. Alright. Let me go work on Fizzy. Okay. Very cute. I like the design.
I find it funny how most of the hate I hear from the Ds and recent games came from people who seem to say Gen 1 was absolutely peak smile.
I think that's the thing, because like it was different, right? And it was a different kind of pacing in the game. But the thing I do like find stupid is when people say Gen 1 was harder. Like, no it wasn't. I went back and played Gen 1 a lot nowadays, back and then. I played Red, Blue, and Yellow again, and they were pretty easy, guys. Let's not kid ourselves. The only thing that was hard is the fact that there's no EXP share naturally, but the games were pretty easy, guys. If I had to say the hardest Pokemon game, I feel like around the Diamond and Pearl, and then the Black and White 1 and 2 kind of games, They were probably the more difficult ones.
Play it before you can read smiles.
That's true. And I think that's the thing too that like is a problem people don't take account for, you know? I think people are having a hard time taking themselves out of their own experience. Because part of the reason things are easy is because we are pro gamers. Is because we kind of experienced it a lot of times, right? And I talked about this earlier. I don't see Pokemon as sequels, right? I see them as a continued journey. Like my Pokemon journey started in Kanto and it's continuing between all the journeys, right? So it's just like, I just take into account that yes, I'm a more experienced player between all of these. But for someone that's new, who doesn't know anything about type matchups, for somebody who's new that doesn't understand like super effective hits or maybe held items, for them, the games might be difficult, you know? And that's why they have like a lot more things nowadays to make it easier. But looking at Diamond and Pearl or even Black and White, if a new player was to get into it, a completely new player, never played Pokemon, never touched anything about Pokemon, the only thing they know is Pikachu is cute, right? They would feel lost on how to play the game. That's my opinion piece. Let's see, I was gonna pull up my YCH too. Give me a second. You gotta say it for the YCEH. Where is this? People like the credit card one. I gotta make some more your character here. Maybe like before in November we'll make some new character here emotes.
I remember when I first played SW/SH and I absolutely stomped hop in the tutorial, fished with a critical effective turn 1.
Yeah, that'd be the case too. The thing is too, like, it's easy to pick up, but if you have no media literacy or any like idea of like continuous existence, like the moment it's out of sight, it comes out of mind, yeah, you're gonna kind of struggle with games. Especially kids. Kids might actually struggle with games, the Pokemon games. Okay, so they wanted the credit card one. Let me go pull up the character. This is a very cute character. Fuzzy. Oh, Fizzy. Watch out, Fufu Robo's coming to kill you! Okay. But I think I don't come to Pokemon expecting a challenge, much less a like difficulty spike or curve. Because Pokemon has become easy because I already solved it years ago. That's the easiest way to put it. And I know that every time I play a Pokemon game, it's gonna be a journey that's very familiar. And that's what I see Pokemon as. Not really a super competitive game or anything that's supposed to be hard. It's just a kind of comfort game, for lack of a better term. Something like a home away from home, you know? And I'm noticing that a lot too with the pictures people have been taking of their Pokemon. Like, it's very interesting to see the lifestyle that people try to do with their Pokemon. Whether it's like taking a picture of them with their coffee, or hanging out, or doing silly things with their Pokemon and taking a picture of it. It's very, very cute. And I think that's what Game Freak's kind of catering to, like the people who feel Pokemon is a lifestyle.
At the very least, the games aren't as easy to beat with a single Pokemon like with SWs.
Yeah. Interesting enough, I did turn off the what's it called? The XP share in Sword and Shield, if I remember correctly. I think you could do it in there. Or was it X and Y? I don't remember. I turned it off in one game and like the game became challenging all of a sudden. Turns out the only thing you need to do is turn off EXP share. But yeah, I think ZNA did a really good job with trying to make the difficulty work. Because the difficulty is curbed by the XP share, but in the later half of the game, you don't get enough experience to kind of level properly unless you actually go out and do side quests. Because like all the main stuff happened back to back, and you don't get enough experience points from battling trainers to make the next XP threshold. I was actually surprised how like the last levels were around the 70 range in Pokemon ZNA. They were like surprisingly well like high leveled towards the end. And I was like only like threading 67. Like when I saw the rival battle was like level 67 and I was also level 67, that was after me doing 70% of the side quests and with the EXP share on. So I think they did a really good job with the curbing of the XP share. And that's also me catching 120 out of the 200 or so Pokemon. But I think that's just a thing. With the first time that they implement something, it's definitely not going to work out the best.
Streamer that beat SW with a shiny Wooloo and nothing else.
That's pretty cute. I wonder if there's going to be like some challenge stuff with ZNA. I'm really excited to see what the future of ZNA is, you know? I want to see what they do competitively. I want to see what they do with the DLC stuff. Like, I know like I shouldn't be, but I shouldn't be because people said I shouldn't be. But in my own personal heart, right? In my own kokoro, in my own daijo boobies, right? I am excited for what ZNA has to bring forward. I just hope they don't just like simply brush it under the rug like they did with RCS. There was a lot of fun elements in RCS, but none of the elements carried over into ZNA. The only thing that carried over is the Legends title and the idea that they're different from the main story games. But who knows?
How much do you know of the anime?
Which one? Do you mean the Horizons or do you mean Ash's Journey? Because in Ash's Journey, I know about X and Y, the season, just because it was super fun and exciting, and I know about the original up to Hoenn. I know some things sprinkled here and there, but it's mostly just up to Hoenn, from Kanto to Hoenn to NZ X and Y series.
In general, but Ash's Journey most.
Yeah, so X and Y was like the one I caught back up with, because as soon as I saw the animations in X and Y, I had to see the anime, and I think it I think it was somebody on Twitch or something, but somebody was streaming the episodes of Pokemon, and I remember watching it together with them. It was super fun, especially watching the X and Y was literally like movie quality animation with the battles. Funny enough, that's Kalos with his Mega Evolutions. But I did like Journey's idea, like how like it's Ash's last kind of battle, and he brought all the gimmicks together. Z moves, he brought the Mega Evolution, he brought the Dynamaxing, right? I don't remember if he Terrastallized. Did he Terrastallise? No, he didn't.
Better than the absolute train wreck of the Gen 5.
I heard about that, but wasn't Gen 5 a train wreck because the fact there was the earthquake or tsunami, and they had to like change a big plot point that involved the earthquake or tsunami in the anime? Like there were supposed to be tremors throughout the season, but they had to change it because of it. I thought I remember reading that somewhere. It was like out of respect because of like recent happenings. Kind of crazy to think that's the case. There you go. I gotta like catch up with the Pokemon anime. I'm so happy that PokeTV is now on YouTube and they're posting all the episodes on Pokemon. I thought they're gonna stop after the first season, like where Misty gets Psyduck, basically, like all the other streaming sites did. But no, they just keep going. Like they're finishing up the Johto League stuff.
I hadn't heard of that, but my biggest issue is that Ash apparently had a lobotomy before Gen
I heard that too. Like my friend was telling me about that, how like Ash forgot what Pokemon were and moves, and he becomes like as like fresh as a baby. X and Y though, they kind of had his redemption arc because he becomes like the most competent trainer. He's like, I know that move. Oh, I counter it. But then it's like, the thing is like with his experience curve increase, all the gym leaders match up, right? It's crazy to see the first gym has like crazy like moves. It's like Surskate, use Ice Beam on the ground, and it's like skated around everywhere. It did not give me the vibe that these are beginner gym leaders.
Ash's Pikachu losing to a Snivy as well.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember hearing something that. It's interesting because like I get why they did it. It was like supposed to be like a seasonal reset. But it's hard to do a seasonal reset when the trainer has been experienced as Ash has been. I think even like Sun and Moon did a soft reset because he goes to a Pokemon school. I haven't seen it myself, but it's more like a slice of life than it is actually like traditional Pokemon anime. Like Journey and X and Y, if I remember correctly from what I heard, are basically like the most competent Ashes. And Ash had a really competent team at the very end. Dragon Knight, Gengar, Sirfetch, Dracovish, Pikachu, and then what's the other one? Wait, give me a second. Dragon Knight, Gengar, Lucario. It's very interesting that he ended up getting a Lucario in the end. His Lucario also Mega Evolves. I thought like Pikachu was gonna be the gigantic max of the team too, because he had like a special form, but they ended up giving it to Gengar, and Pikachu was the Z move user. It would have been interesting to see how Ash uses Terra Sterilization. How's the Pokemon Horizon doing? I heard people are enjoying it, but then my friend, like I was talking to my friend about it, and they were giving me a whole spiel about how bad it was. So I'm kind of curious how Horizon is doing as an anime. Have you guys seen Horizon yet?
Personally, I think the anime would have been better if they did a new protagonist each gen as a main series with Ash's journey being a secondary series, but that likely wouldn't have been very feasible at the time.
I think it would have been possible in its own way. Like Pokemon Journey, I believe the small like snippet where it showed like Ethan's adventure in anime form was pretty cool. And then they show like Alan's adventure in Pokemon X and Y. Like there's like room for it to work. It's just that I think just like the games, they were afraid to try something different. They were playing it too safe, and Ash was definitely the safe card.
I've seen like half of season 1 of Horizons. It is serviceable in my opinion.
I have to check it out. I heard it's pretty fun. Like people like Liko, but my friend did not like Liko. I don't know what kind of character Liko is, but she looked like an interesting character. She looks very dainty. Hee. There you go. I'm just curious what they're gonna do with this like transition, because now that ZNA is out, usually the Pokemon anime tries to keep up with the games, but I heard recently, apparently, I think it was in the Mega Leaks or something like that, but they were saying how like the Pokemon anime is gonna try to disconnect with the games. That way it could become its own entity. So basically they're not tied down to following the game story. Because when you think about it, like part of the thing that made like Ash's journey so, what's it called? So limited was they had to follow the regions of the game, right? He had to go to Kanto, he went to Johto, and all that stuff.
Critique about it from what I've seen is that you can tell it was largely written for children.
That makes sense then. Maybe they were aiming for a different audience. Which is kind of a shame. Because like in doing so you kind of lose out on a different audience. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. If all the if they're not no longer tied to the regions, then ZNA would have no effect on what the next anime season is going to be. Granted, I imagine they'll try to still show Pokemon from the new games. I think that's the thing that Pokemon have always done, which is that they use the anime as a big walking billboard for the game. But in terms of actually like having them actually go to the region and do the regional gyms and stuff, I think that's a thing of the past now. I don't think, what's it called too, like in the new Pokemon Horizons they did something similar. Like they've been mostly focused on the school, and like they did the Elite Four or Champion battle.
I feel like the Game Freak or whoever approves of their stuff forget that a large portion of their fan base are adults.
I think the thing is though, they see the value in appealing for kids because they know a lot of adults are gonna have kids now, and they need to make sure that the franchise is still fresh for the kids. Like it's a power play of a move when you think about it. By appealing to kids, you're bringing nostalgia to the parents who are gonna re-experience Pokemon again for like not for a long time, you know? And you're appealing to the kids who never experienced Pokemon before. There's a fly on my wall. I'm gonna kill it. There we go. So I can see what they're doing. They're not thinking much about the veteran players who are much more hardcore. They're thinking about like expanding it. And that's actually a pretty good business tactic when you think about it, because like while you can reliably like live off a hardcore fan base, your hardcore fan base is getting older and older. If the next generation is not there to kind of adopt the thing, then you have a problem of no new players coming into the player base. You know what I mean? There's a lot of games that I saw suffering from that. The idea of no new players or no new fans coming into it. I think Digimon has that problem personally, where it's like a lot of the Digimon media, or well, recent media, I wouldn't say like Time Stranger and the newest movie, but a lot of it was appealing to the veteran fans, right? But the problem was like Digimon wasn't getting any bigger because essentially they're appealing to a specific audience, which is like their more older members, you know? So there's both good and bad in both methods, right? You get the appeal of being appealed to if you're an audience member or older member, but you do, you know that the franchise might actually just die with you. There was another series that did something like that too. I know Sonic is also one that's been experiencing that. They're trying to appeal to a younger audience in a way. And, you know, essentially because they know that the next generation needs to be appealed to.
Resources that Game Freak has access to. Surely they would be able to pander to both.
It's an interesting take because like it's the same thing I think about with Digimon. Because Digimon has the problem that they used to appeal to a younger audience with the older seasons. But nowadays, it's harder to say the same thing when their anime and their media has like a lot of allusions to death or suicide or crime or alcohol or like abuse and stuff like that. So if they made like a Pokemon game story-wise, in my opinion, to do something like that where they're split, the problem is that people have the association of what that is. Like Digimon is seen as the more adult Pokemon, right? Which makes it a little bit harder to appeal to the younger audience because it has an adult audience. So to have like a two different appeal like that might be difficult. Gameplay wise, I think it would be interesting if they did do something like that. But like I said, they are too safe. They don't want to risk anything, honestly. They wanna make sure that they go by the most safest method of making a Pokemon game with the smallest amount of innovation that will progress them forward by small baby steps. Which is a strategy, but not a very favorable strategy. I personally don't mind it because it's like...
Also, one thing I have noticed about media in general, things are typically made for children or adults, but almost never teens, at least without being...
That's because like teenage years is a harder one to appeal to, you know? Because teenagers are much more adept at sensing that they're being appealed to, and then they will find it cringe, you know? Like teenager years, young teenagers is a iffy group when you think about it. You follow the trends when it comes to the teenagers, but for younger audience and then young adults, you kind of know that their taste has stabilized, right? Like you're gonna appeal to a lot of kids, and for the young adults, you could appeal to their nostalgia factor, or if they're already a fan, you know? But teenagers, oof. I think we've all been teenagers once, that's for sure. We all know how crazy we can be. Those wacky teenagers after all, hee hee. But it would be interesting. Like, I kind of want to see what Pokemon would do if they were for adults.
Just watched adult-focused media because of how bad things for teens smile.
That's the thing too. Like, teens are in that weird space. Like, for me, my teenage years were Tales of Vesperia, Tales of Abyss, Tales of Symphonia. That was my teenager years, right? But those games weren't necessarily made for me, per se. They were made for a more young adult audience. I just happened to play it, you know? But I also played games like Growl Online, which is not necessarily made for me, but it's also, once again, a young adult game, or I guess you could say also kid game if it's Gaia, that I played because, yeah, it appealed to me. That's why I don't think people appeal to teenagers as much. They're very unpredictable. Very, very unpredictable. Because their teenagers are based on trends. Whatever is the trending thing is what the kids are gonna like. Which is like, oh, Hatsune Miku got released on Fortnite, but most people don't know what Hatsune Miku is. Kind of situation. But interesting. That's an interesting thing to say though. To the idea of appealing to to teenagers.
Also, what is it with media for teens and insisting on having an incredibly uncomfortable
Hormones.
romance subplot smile?
Hormones. 100% hormones. They know what those teenagers want. They know how teenagers are feeling, and they're like, oh, that's just like me, for real, for real. I know I felt that way, like with anime and a lot of things. For a while when I was a teenager, when I saw like an anime character doing like silly anime things, I'm like, oh, that guy's just like me, for real. Konata's just like me. Three Face. I'm just like Konata. Three Face. Okay. But yeah, that's why I didn't include it, because it's kind of like a power fantasy, I guess, for lack of a better term. When they see themselves in the novel or video or game, they just can't help but resonate with it. Even if it feels stupid and uncomfortable for us, they'll find it to be like the coolest thing.
We're also so uncomfortable, especially live action shows, which is what I am mainly referring to with that.
I think it depends. I think like there was like some live action shows like Drake and Josh, when you think about it, like how Drake is always flirting with girls and then like he eventually finds a girl to go steady air with, right? And drops her the next episode apparently. Then there's like I'm So Raven. I know that has a good amount of romance. What did that? I don't remember. I haven't seen that one per se. I just know about it based on what my friend says. But yeah, it's more like just to appeal to teenage hormones and like trying to resonate with them. My homies. My homies, I am one of the kids. Homie. Homie. It's time to come to bed, homie. Oh, Marge.
Original Teen Titans was so good, smile.
It was. But that could also be seen as like awkward romance. Like how Cyborg had the weirdest thing for Jinx. Like they had like a weird dynamic going. Hard to say what was supposed to be there. Good times though. Man, Pokemon music is so nice. It's so peaceful. Alright, I should end it here because I did tell Snivy and Saren that I would meet them at 9. So we have 5 minutes until 9. This is mostly done though, but thank you guys for joining me tonight. It was a lot of fun. Let me see if there's someone we could drop off at. Anyone online? Who is online at this very moment, at this time of day, at this hour?
I do think the Teen Titans did do it better than other media did for us.
Yeah, they did. They do still have its awkward teenaging like romance. The fact like Beast Boy was in love with Raven and Terra, which is kind of made it kind of awkward. Because they would have their scenes together, but it's like, you know, he has Terra, but then it's like, oh, you also know that he has like Raven. Like, at least Starfire stuck with Robin the whole time. Didn't even eye any of the other boys. And then like Cyborg was basically getting together with Jinx. You're still alive? Yep. But I'm about to finish up because I'm gonna watch the Uma Musume concert with some friends. So let me see if I could drop somebody off, or some people, or drop you off somewhere. Who is online at this moment? And yeah, you're literally dying. Did you finish reading? You might want to rest your eyes. That's a lot of reading. Hey, Pixel's online. Let's go read Pixel. Let's go read Pixel. Kicks. Door down. What is this? No, we're dropping you off at Pixel. What is this honky donkey star rally game? Where is the handsome husbandos that we all came to know and love? Sheepies, raid, and roar. You finally finished it? Nice! Good luck on your video that you're gonna make with it.
Pick store down. What is this non-honky donkey star rally game? Where is the handsome husbandos that we all came to know and love?
Didn't expect such a mixed story. Mixed story as in like context-wise, or mixed story as in like... Anyway, good night. Yeah, thank you for jumping back in, Plague. And hopefully get yourself some rest. You did a good job reading all those books, or all those stories and chapters. Yeah, I'm gonna jump off here because I gotta see Snivy and Saren for the Uma concert. Bye guys, you guys take care of yourself. You have a good night. Tune in tomorrow when I play more Pokemon in the evening. We're gonna do post game tomorrow. We're gonna do the post game tomorrow. Hopefully, what's it called? I hope the post game is really fun. I'm kind of excited to see what the post game holds. But yeah, I'm gonna jump off here. I'm gonna tune in for Pokemon tomorrow, Thursday for art, Friday for deep sleep, and then Deadly Premonition in the weekend. Alright, I'm gonna jump off here. Gotta get going. Bye! Bye-bye. Let me go switch screen. Bye-bye. Video games. Hey dog, what do you want? What do you want, dog? What do you want, dog?